welcome to Know the Code podcast, man. We back with you today. Myself.
Welcome.
Yes, indeed. John Johnson over here to my left. Tell him what we got.
Right, what up?
To my right.
I'm Louis Dangervil, and to the right of me.
Kane Alexis.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm his dad, Kane Price.
How about that?
Right.
Yeah. So we here to get into it. We got a few topics we want to run through. And without any further ado, let's waste no time. Brother Wright, you were speaking earlier to two situations that recently took place. One being an incident with the ladies on the golf course, having the police called on them. The other being with a young lady at the Waffle House who had the same situation and also had the police called on.
Right.
Talk to us, man.
Well, it was just interesting as we were kind of having our discussion during the week about, what we wanted to discuss, that those articles were kind of floating around in those scenarios and everything. And at least for the golf course one, I was like, God, I'm kind of fascinated by it. Like, golf is one of my hobbies, like one of the things I like to do in my free time. And I'm like, God, let me read into this because I have my own experiences and things like that. And it sounds like at least the sisters were looking to go use the bathroom at what they call the tournament. Usually at the ninth hole, that's halfway through your round, there's usually a bathroom or something like that. And if there's time, you kind of run off, do your thing, and go back out. It sounds like from what the argument was that I saw in the video, at least, the guy was like, y'all taking too long. Y'all got to leave. And the lady's like, why do we have to leave? Because again, this is normal. If the group behind you catches up to you, then you just let them go and then you just jump back in line. You know what I mean? It's just a normal sequence of things. It's not nothing strange. But as we talked about with the Waffle House also, it sounds like that sister had asked for like silverware. Right. And they tried to charge her or whatever, and she was asking for the number for corporate. Yeah, for like 50 cents. So she's like on principle, like, hold on, what's this? Let me get the number to corporate. They tried to throw her out. I guess she was, arguing that. Called the police on her, and then the video speaks for itself. I mean, they overdid it. Yoked the lady up, bent her up all kind of ways, exposed her and everything. But, at least as far as for myself, the only experience I have as far as the golf thing is one time me and my father, of all people, I'm playing with my father and two of his friends, so three 60-plus-year-old men. And the park ranger, just pulls up on us one day, and he's like, whose ball is that? And I forgot whose ball it was. It might have been my father's or somebody. And we're like, we're waiting for the group ahead of us to hit.
So hold up, no hello.
No, nothing. Like he just jumps out there, he just like literally like bad drinker face, like, whose ball is that? So like, whoever's ball it was, they answered him. And he's just like, hit your ball. Wow. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, what? Now again, I get defensive for my father, and like the way he came off, like the switch was lit now. Now we could, now we could have this back and forth. So now I'm like, what's the problem? Let's figure that out first, because he didn't even get out and say, hey, this is kind of why I'm here. And we look up at the group ahead of us, and they're literally one shot ahead of us, which is the normal pace of the game. Is you got to let the group ahead of you get one shot away so you don't hit it with your ball. Natural progression, nothing strange about that. And we got into this shouting match, like literally face to face, like, batting us just like, I'm explaining to the guy, like, we're not slowing up the course. You can see the group in front of us right there. But his whole approach was he was looking for a fight. From the second he got out the car. That's the energy I got. And unfortunately for me, I lost my cool and I kind of gave it back. But long story short, his retort, once he realized he really wasn't going to do nothing, was, I'm going to call the police. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, go ahead. I'm on 13. I'll see y'all when I get to 18. Like I can't go nowhere. I'll see you at the end. Never saw the guy again, never heard, because he knew he was wrong. Right. And at least the video I saw, the guys are, beating, these are a bunch of grown women. 50, 60-year-old black women. They're not cursing at the guy. They're not raising their voice. The lady's just asking for clarity. Like, what's the problem? And all he kept saying was leave. And then we're calling the police.
And don't they like somebody important to women themselves?
And usually, that was a municipal course, but you would imagine there probably are some, established women. They're in their, 50s, 60s, probably retired.
People that play golf usually got some bread.
I think this was a group of them, and I forgot what they were into, but they were there like celebrating with each other.
5 or 6, and I mean, it's a matter of how you approach people. You could either approach them with bad vibes, like my scenario, where literally the guy's whole attitude was he was looking for a fight, or you could talk. Listen, hey, looks like you're slowing up the course. Could y'all pick it up? And I've had other rangers pull up and say that. And it's like, yeah, we got you. That's it. You know what I mean?
See, that what you were talking about, what struck me with that whole thing is, like you said, his last resort was to do what? When he felt powerless and there was nothing else he could do, he told you what?
Right, I'm going to call the police.
I'm calling the police.
For what? And again, that's one of those things, like, okay, so I need you to explain to me, because you're going to have to explain to them what you're calling them for. Well,
he might not.
Yeah, that might not be necessary. Yeah, that might be situational.
Yeah.
But that's my experience. So when I heard that story, it's one of those things where I was like, man, I kind of know what that feeling is like. Where you just like, whoa, it just come out of nowhere with it. You know, it's like it's not necessary for it.
I've seen in situations where people try to use that against like black people as a, all right, you're not doing what I like, so I'm gonna call the police and. Now you're gonna act right.
Right, put you in the place, kind of thing. Right.
Because I can't make you do it.
Exactly.
So like Francis Cress always say, the great equalizer is the gun. So only way they're gonna act up with you if they got a gun, they don't.
Right.
So they gotta call their people that do.
They automatically know it's subconscious. It's an unspoken agreement between them and the power structure. And if I call you and you show up, it's me and somebody who doesn't look like me. Yeah, we know how this is gonna go. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate, but this is the reality that we face with. So, speaking of that, right, it kind of makes me think of the Bill Cosby situation. You know what I'm saying? And you might be saying how does that kind of link up? But it's the power of that phone, the power of those 3 numbers. To me, there's never been a time in history where a white woman, he's been accused of, raping or assaulting all of these white women, would be afraid to pick up that phone and say, a black man raped me, for fear that they wouldn't be believed.
Especially in those days.
You know what I'm saying? I just can't see that happening. Especially with 35 of them for 35 years. I'm not saying that's who he was convicted behind, but that's who the whole atmosphere was built on. These 35 or 40 women out there. And until I can answer that question, I got a question, bro. Regardless of all the other stuff that was going on with the situation. It ain't about Bill, it ain't about hating women, it's not about being pro-rape, you know what I'm saying? It's just about analyzing the situation and saying, hold up, something don't look right here. Because I remember the Central Park fight. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We all do. You know what I mean? I remember the 4 brothers not too long ago in Brownsville. Remember they tried to say they raped the woman's daughter in front of the father? And all of that, put them on the paper, everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember these situations. So, history. You know what I mean? I gotta let history be my guide a little bit and cause me to say, hold on. Because you can't let your enemies tell you who your enemies are. You know what I'm saying? So, word. So that Bill Cosby situation was looking a little funny. What you thought about it, Luke?
See, with Cosby, I think it's obvious that he's a bit of a creep. He's done some deplorable actions, but like you said, the atmosphere that these actions were supposedly took place in, like the 70s, the 80s, like, nah. We went down for way less.
Way less.
A little homie whistled at a white woman and we know what happened.
Thank you.
Like,
and then she comes out and says she lied.
yeah.
So he's dead and she's not in jail.
She's still chilling.
We're not going back on her old actions?
Not gonna do that. But that just shows you what the power structure is here to protect. So some people might question you and say, well, you're a paranoid black man. This stuff don't happen. Y'all ain't no targets. Y'all not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? It's not a victim mentality. It's just a reality of who's being victimized. You know what I'm saying? In this fashion. And unless we're going to even be man enough to say it, you know what I mean? Come out right and say it, then how we ever going to change it if we're not going to acknowledge it in the first place? You know what I mean? So it was a little crazy to me because you had a lot of people that were playing it safe because they didn't want to be labeled as a misogynist, as anybody going against. There's an atmosphere now where if you say anything against a woman that's making allegations, all of a sudden you put in this box. Now, men lie, women lie. We both know this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying everything they're saying is a lie, but it does need to be analyzed before, you know what I mean? Before making certain accusations. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Men do some messed up things. We all know this. So it's not an excuse. It's just saying, like, if you're going to do that over somebody's word, then you creating a dangerous atmosphere for people out here.
We was talking about that Meek Mill situation too when we was kind of sitting down to go over what topics we wanted to discuss. So what would you see the tie in there? I remember you were talking about there was some sort of linkage that you kind of saw there, and how it go.
Yeah, he said it. It seemed like they was giving us something, and they was going real hard about it. Yeah, we gonna send him a chopper. We gonna fly him out to the game. We're gonna ring the Liberty Bell. You know what I'm saying? So forth and so on.
Definitely made a spectacle of it.
Yeah, and this was all in the same state. You know what I mean?
Right.
2 men from Philadelphia. Now all of a sudden, 2 days later, you know what I mean? We're gonna pluck one of your biggest, most powerful,
Like,
you know what I mean? People.
No, we don't railroad people. Look what we did with Meek.
Yeah.
We let them out for the game.
Yeah.
Look how benevolent we are. We're so
Still on parole, still with the same judge.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Never mind, you went to jail for popping a wheelie, bro, and you still on parole. Like, imagine what else. You know, what else could you possibly do? What couldn't you do to end up back in the same position if they wanted to put you there? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I'm glad he's out. It's nothing to do. You know, I think everybody know that, right? We all glad he's out.
Right.
It's just the timing was real coincidental.
And I think it's the same situation, and like you said, how it ties into, because a lot of people saying, you know, like acting like if you speak on the situation with Bill Cosby, like you supporting what he did or supposedly did, and you just speaking about the system.
Right.
And the same thing with Meek, everybody's all happy that he's out and everything, and the same thing is he dealing with the system. But I'm like, Meek and Bill Cosby don't compare. Bill Cosby has done so much for the community, more than I still can't, because I don't know if he raped anybody or not.
True.
You know what I mean? And if he drugs people and then the drugs while he's having sex, like you said, it's some creepy shit. You know what I mean? I never been in that situation, never had to do those things.
Yeah.
But with Meek, it's like, with Bill done made hundreds of documentaries to help the community. He's done put so much money into the colleges. So many people have gone to college just because of Different World. Like Hampton, Howard, Spelman, everything went up after A Different World came out. You know, even my daughter, she's like, I want to go to Howard because she started watching Different Worlds on reruns. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to look at what people have done for their whole life, and that part we don't know about until this happened. You know, even with just to go on to Africa Bambaataa, you know, that popped up, and then I heard people saying back in the day we've been hearing these stories. So why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? So if it's the same thing with Bill, why all these people that have been around ain't never say nothing? We would have heard some type of thing about it, besides his jokes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Nah, I swear. You just gotta, you know, be analytical and be aware of your surroundings and your environment and how things have been. You know what I'm saying? And that'll give you a guide as to how things will be.
You got to take the time to consider the context of
Absolutely.
whatever argument you're in, because a lot of it's cool to just talk about the general thing, so you don't have to speak about the in-depth thing that would make you question things of yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's the atmosphere that a lot of these public lynchings are, you know what I'm saying, are feeding us or driving us towards. Like we need to be more cognizant of going with, of condoning the consensus, because people ain't asking the hard questions no more.
Right. And I think from what you're saying that the people that kind of creating this atmosphere, they know how the public is. And whatever you put out there publicly, it sways people's opinion. People act like they're not influenced by it, but they are. Yeah. Like even these fast food places, they pay millions of dollars for advertisement. The color orange makes people hungry. You know what I mean?
They paying that money because it don't work,
right? Because you know what I'm saying. So it's like
it works.
All these different things you can sway people's opinion just by putting something out or even a meme.
Right.
Weeks before something happened,
right.
And then that thing happened, just like you already got your decision, you already judged them.
Images of that power.
You know.
Speaking of Meek, when that Drake and Meek situation happened, Meek was done before he even started because of the memes, and that speaks to that same culture. Like, how can a man tell you that a man doesn't write his bars, and you're like, no, that's cool. He's still one of the best ever. Like when Diddy, we used to lambast Diddy for the same thing. Like nothing he could do was like, No Way Out was a dope album.
I write rhymes, I write checks. That's what he came down for.
He would not let him slide.
You know, that's right.
I think that's why Diddy punched him, because he's just so mad at him. Because he's like, are you getting by with this bull? Like off the fist at the side, you know what I mean?
But even with that, what you just said, he said that, and then people thought that was fly.
Right.
He a boss. He don't gotta write. He write checks.
Yeah.
You write for me. You write for me.
You know, and I think that comes with the context of who they are and how you see them, though. Like you said, it's like, yo, I fucks with Drake's music. He ain't no legend to me, but I fucks with his music. He writes good music. Or he makes good music, I should say. So let me take that caveat back. You know, but I think historically, again, it's like hip-hop is built on, you know, if you want to be put up there on Mount Rushmore, you got to write your own. You got to do your own homework. You know, so that's the argument that can't nobody come, you know, nowhere near is facts are you can't in this genre say you the man if you don't write your own rhymes. You can't do it.
Like I was talking to Lewis about it the other day. It's like finding out Da Vinci ain't do all that. It was somebody else. He just put his name on it. Right. Or you know what I mean?
I heard that.
Yeah, look, hold on. Yeah, you might have a point there. It's like finding out Basquiat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ain't paid them pictures.
Right.
And somebody else was doing it. He just seen Basquiat. You know what I mean?
Right.
And put his face out there. It's like, nah, son. Nah. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, we want to know who you are. But we in an era where things that are genuine aren't necessarily appreciated. It's all about what things appear to be. You know what I'm saying? It's all about appearances. We in the social media age, man. It's all about what things look like. You know
This sounds like the two linking factors too. Like what you just said is this: the images in social media, and then the system again. That system. So even with this, everybody talking about race and all this other stuff, it's the system. It's systematic. So even if you get black people in positions, it's still the same system. So it'd be just have a new oppressor with a different face now.
That's it.
You know,
and
even ourselves, we've been taught to convict ourselves and judge ourselves. So it's race, but it's more the system, and everybody's just falling along with it.
Yeah, it's a system, and race is just one of the tools that it uses to.
That built the system.
Yeah, you're right. It was built on the backs of that. We were talking the other day about system, and when something doesn't work in the system, Brother Ray said, you run a diagnostic, right? You figure out what's going on, you take that part out, and you replace it with another one that's going to work. Because everything has to work in unison. So it doesn't matter who you are, what your mentality is. If you're in that position, you're going to be helping that system function the way it's supposed to. Else, diagnostic run, you are replaced. You know what I'm saying? Whether by a bullet or scandal, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
They're giving them both out.
No.
Yeah. No shortage of that. You know what I'm saying?
You can change your mind once you working in the system. It's like you start saying, yeah, they do deserve it. Look how they act. And you won't even think why they acting like that.
Which brings us to our next topic.
Kanye.
Yes, indeed.
Why you acting like
Wake
that?
up, Mr. West. Wake up.
How can we not talk about
Dirty
this,
man.
right? And I know it's been talked about from a lot of angles, right? But for me personally, I can't get with it. So my man Yeezus, man. Yeezus got a lot going on in the news, man.
Get out.
Oh, man.
Like
Yo, dope. I even gave
he's
him a
going ham
chance.
on Twitter.
I even gave him a chance, right? I even listened to his new joint that he had out.
Who did he score?
Poop did he scoop? Did y'all
Who
hear
did he
this? Did
scoop?
y'all hear this? Y'all ain't hear the poop?
No, I ain't hear it.
Y'all look at us like, what the hell?
Yeah, I ain't hear
Yeah,
it.
man, listen. It's different. It's different. I'm gonna say that, bro. I'm gonna say that. I don't know how you do that one, but when y'all hear me, y'all understand what I'm talking about.
That's the hook.
Y'all done heard it.
Hey,
That's the hook.
Y'all know what I'm
It's
talking
better
about.
than Gucci Gang.
Yeah.
Bro. It's, yeah.
That's the hook.
Yeah.
Poopy's good.
Poop,
That's
diddy, scoop.
the,
It ain't
like,
even a hook.
The intro or the that's how he comes in. I don't know how to.
I thought that was the ending part. Because the intro to me was all instrumental. Until like toward the end, you like, yo, where the bars at? Where the bars at? Where the bars at? All of a sudden you hear, whoop diddy scoop, poop diddy poop. We was like, huh? What? Like, yo, I thought it was a
He was
joke.
computers computing and shooters and shooting.
Yo, son, it wasn't even.
It was on camera.
That was a hip hop quotable compared to what I heard. You understand what I'm saying? Seriously, man. But back to the foolery of it all. About him over here supporting Trump. I love Trump. He got the dragon energy. What else was being said? Who knows? But y'all know what I'm talking about. To me, those are dangerous waters to be treading in as a black man. I don't care what your strategy is. I don't even see what your strategy could be, to be honest with
You
you.
mentioned stress, so you think it's a stunt or?
Bro, I think he's out of his mind. That's what I think, because I don't know what else it could be. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know what else it could be. What would be the purpose? What would be the strategy? And you supporting Trump besides trying to get some
I think
money
he's an
from
attention whore, man. That's all. He's an
We talking
attention
about him
whore.
now.
Yeah.
But this type of attention, you understand what I'm saying? You gotta know. Even if you wanted to align yourself with those, look at the popular vote. It ain't go to him.
Right.
More people voted for Hillary. So even if you was strategically thinking, that's a bad strategy. You understand what I'm saying? So it gotta be something. It either gotta be genuine or you crazy, dog.
Right.
It ain't in the middle of the two. What you think, Lou? I know you got a different take.
I support.
Donald Trump now.
I don't support Trump, but some of his actions is gangster,
Yeah.
and it should be, the strategy should be implemented in other areas of, you know what I'm saying, business and politics, if, you know what I'm saying, because it works, and especially in the times.
Yeah, we talking about Trump.
I'm
just
so,
trying
it's
to
a
be
winding
clear.
road.
Okay.
It's a winding road. So right now I'm talking about Trump.
Okay, all right. So
So-
you said his strategy is a gangster.
His strategies work.
Okay,
That is proven.
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Which one are we talking about in particular?
His ability to control the news cycle and push past what he wants to push past and dwell on what he chooses to.
Right.
The way he orchestrates it is magnificent. But like people, people keep on, they get surprised by everything he does. Like you didn't know he wasn't the creep since Central Park 5, like you were talking about earlier. Like now to Kanye.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Bring it back.
Let's do
Now to
it.
Kanye, 'cause, yeah, I was about to go off on Trump, but why would he support Trump? I'm hoping he's supporting, like you said, the energy, the dragon energy. Like, 'cause
Dragon energy.
the actions, like what he's actually doing, is not the move. You know what I'm saying?
We're
'Cause
talking about Trump. What Trump's actually doing, or what Kanye is actually doing.
I'm not mad at what Kanye is expressing himself. He's been a weirdo. Like that was one of his messages. There was like 9,000 tweets in the past couple of days. And most of them was talking about expressing love and showing people around you that you love them. And
This is from Kanye.
yes. And people only focusing on Tim Cooks and Donald Trump are the two of my favorite people. He didn't say I love him. He said the MAGA hat got his son.
They say he loves Trump.
He
He said I love
said
him.
he
He's
loved
my
him.
brother. He said I love
Yeah,
him.
he's
Oh,
his brother.
alright.
Yeah, he took it there. He took it
But
there.
he's my brother.
Literally
Yeah.
said.
We got the dragon energy.
And then the thing
You're
is
trying to
that-
make me hate him, but I'm not going to do what the masses do me just 'cause, yeah. Read that whole message. It was a rebellion against, nah, nigga, you ain't going to tell me what to do.
That's beautiful. That's great. That's all.
And this is
you know,
my message with Kanye. You can hate him. You can hate the messenger. That man is coming with a message.
Yeah.
And you could either say Kanye ain't shit, so you don't have to decide. All right, maybe when he says but George Bush doesn't like black people, we should look into that. Maybe when he says we should love each other, we should look into that. Maybe when he says Obama was president for 8 years and Chicago didn't get no better, I need to look into that.
But he said he loved Trump, so who fuck cares about all that?
Yeah,
You know what
but
I'm saying? It's like sometimes you can do things and just cancel.
Let's throw away the
everything else.
messenger.
You know what I mean?
Nah.
It just cancels that.
You can't throw away the message. You can't throw away the baby with the
You can't say
bathwater.
stuff like that though. Because I believe in free speech and all of that, right? Free thinking. But when your free thinking aligns with somebody that's trying to oppress me, we got an issue. You understand what I'm
Let me ask
saying?
you this.
We got an issue.
You said somebody's trying to oppress me.
Yeah.
In what ways is Trump trying to oppress you?
I mean
us. Because I know when you say me, you mean us.
As far as the way the man thinks, policy-wise, disrespect of black women publicly, disregard for black. You just had a black man be a superhero, a Waffle House. Direct disregard for people that don't look like him. It's obvious. It's obvious to see he's not someone who hides it. I could respect him for that, right? But it's so obvious that it can't be like, well, I didn't know. I don't know who he is.
That's why I say
I don't
that.
know where he's coming
all,
from.
all I hear now is Trump this, Trump that. But I'm like, that's the same dude he was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And nothing changed. I ain't a Trump supporter, but I ain't mad at nothing that he doing because it's like you said, it's in your face. He ain't hiding it, and he'll lie, but he'll lie on camera after he just said it on camera the other day, knowing that he said it, knowing that you know he said it,
And knowing that you don't really care.
But see, I think this is the bigger problem I have with him, is he's emboldened others who think like him. You understand? They just found a black man hung from a bridge today in Georgia this morning. Preliminary investigation is ruled as suicide. You know what I mean? Typical. Same thing happened at Piedmont Park last year in Atlanta.
Right.
But we just seeing these instances. The Waffle House thing. You know what I mean? people running up on people in public, the word nigga being thrown around like never before. It's an atmosphere he's contributing to. So when you say you love a man like that, I'm done with you. You feel me? Like, Trump was not a political choice. Trump is not a politician.
No, he's not a politician.
So it's not like, all right, well, you don't like somebody because of their political choice. It's deeper than a political choice. You understand what I'm saying? You aligned yourself with somebody.
Yeah, he's an ideology.
There's no question.
But let me ask all y'all this. Do y'all think that it's past overdue for black people to wake up and get their shit together and start doing what we gotta do? And I think with him being in office, he's helping to push that process forward because people are seeing it's blatant now. You can't just go to church and be like, oh, it's not happening, I'm gonna go pray on Sunday about it. You know what I mean? You go to church on Sunday, you might get killed by a cop on Monday. You might get hung on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? In 2018.
They're killing people in churches too.
Right, they killing people in churches too. You know what I'm saying? So,
I think he's a good motivator for both sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where when he got elected, it was one of those things where people was all mad. I kind of laughed. I'm like, nothing changes for us regardless. Again, granted, people may be a little more bold, you know, but I think, again, not much changes. And then for me, I do, to what you just said, is like, yo, if you don't have anything motivating you to get your stuff together, to get yourself educated, to get yourself financially strong, to get yourself, you know, upwardly mobile so you can help other people do the same. I mean, there's a lot of things that I think positively could come from him. And that's why, again, I agree with what you're saying as far as I'm not rocking with Kanye because what he's doing is dangerous. You know, I think the last thing you ever want to do is put a bullet in the chamber for the guy who's got his gun aimed at you. You know what I mean? And I think that's to your point. You know, and I'm all for free thought and all that good stuff. But I think you also got to understand when something is that dangerous. You know what I mean? And the worst part is, you never want nobody going on Fox News talking about Kanye gets it and propping up that argument of, you know, the war on drugs isn't over and all these little stupid, you know, outwardly racist things. But then they're going to co-sign it with, well, Kanye or Chance the Rapper gets it. And it's like, nah.
They're going to use you as fuel for their fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the dangerous part.
It's changing your actions because of what they might do, really, the move?
Because of what they might, what do you mean, Trump and them? What they might do?
What the other side might do, because they might misconstrue what you say into and use it as fodder for their content machine.
Well, I heard what you're saying in a way, because certain things that you say should only be said in certain arenas. So if what you say could have this whole town get burnt down, then maybe you need to just say it in a small.
And that's why the original comment that he was supporting, I can't remember the girl name because she a clown. But is there truth to be found in some of the things that are said? There is, but not in who she said it to or how she said it. So, for example, I'd say, do we need to get rid of a defeatist attitude? Yes. I know the deck is stacked against me, and I'm gonna grind through that wall. Like, there's no whining or complaining allowed. But do we need to be aware of the result of the actions of others and the impacts it's had? Nah. You can't take that from me because, as you said, that's the fuel to the fire. We can't allow ourselves to be lost in the sauce on the negative. You know what I mean? But I think for him to go out there and for that lady, whatever her name is, to go out there and say Black Lives Matters or whiners, it's like, you're not getting it. You know, and again, it also makes me, and this is why the conversation is important though, because when we as black folks get to the point where it's like, I don't even want to hear nothing else you got to say, then we can't go nowhere. Right. So my question for her is, what was your life like? You know, what are your experiences? Because again, of her experiences, I woke up, I went to school, I went to college, like, you never had to deal with some of the elements of what some other black folks experience. And again, I can say there are elements of black experience I don't know about, you know what I mean, or some other black people's experience. But it's like, for her to say that, to me, my question for her is, what was your experience like? Because if she don't got none of those experiences, I understand. Not to say I agree, but I understand. You know what I mean? Why you wouldn't understand.
They know that they was going on.
Right. Some people aren't aware of things that are going on around them. So again, how can I, like, when you ask yourself, how can I hate you for that?
Right.
You don't know no better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't explain the basis of those things.
The experience.
Right. So that's why that's the dangerous part is you're using somebody who has no experience. It's like taking a white person's experience or opinion on the black experience. Same as a black person who ain't got none of the black experience we talking about. What's the difference? Other than the exterior. You know what I mean?
To an extent.
You know.
To an extent, I would say that's true. Only because we living in an age of information. It ain't hard to see what's going on around us. If you're looking, even a little bit, you have some understanding. Something in your head is spinning it another way for whatever reason. But as far as, you know, the youth, yeah, cool. Once you pass a certain age or a point though, there's nothing nobody can do for you. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, as far as that mentality is concerned. Do we need to be a little more patient with our own? Yes, we do. You know, the Stephon Clark situation, I don't think it should have been cut down because he wasn't thinking the right way about black women at that particular moment. He could have had time to grow. He could have had time to blossom. But some of us, man, listen. Some of us love putting them tap shoes on, man. And we'll die before we unlace them and take them off. You know what I'm saying?
And it makes you even think about what breeds that mentality. The treats for the small group that follows the system and say, well, we're not racist. Look, they made it. You know, it's just crazy. It's a system, and they got us in it. The same to work with
They
them.
teach us to love it.
Yeah,
It's all we know. How we not gonna love it? This is how we been living since we popped into this world.
It's like, you ever watch Saved by the Bell? Like, Zach Morris is quintessentially America. Like, he's cocky, he's a douchebag, he fucks up, and 30 minutes later he's trying to say sorry and move on through. You know what I'm saying? Like,
All this
is.
yeah. And once they say we forgive you, he back popping again.
Yeah,
This is what he is.
But he makes it look cool. You know what I'm saying?
You brought up that, like what Aisha said, her experiences.
Right.
Look at Lord Voice. She's the only black girl on that show.
Right. Look at her.
So what's her experience?
You
You know what I mean? And there's things that being said that's racist. She don't even pick up on it. You know what I mean?
Like she the baddest chick on the show, and everything's centered around Kelly Kapowski. She probably has a super complex.
Yes. And I'll give you an example. My daughter, she goes to all white school, and her hair is natural. So you know the white girls are like, oh, your hair's so nice. No. You know what I mean? She's like, but so and so lets me do it, and then it makes you think about what you said. So and so doesn't even think about why you touching my hair.
Yeah. They ain't been told that ain't, you know.
That ain't right.
And that's one of those things too, where we're aware of it, so we say, yo, don't touch my hair. You tell your child, don't let nobody touch your hair. Whereas some other people are just like, no, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, what's wrong with it? You know,
like an animal in the zoo.
It really is. It blows your mind, man.
You know, it's wild, but it just comes back to knowing who you are in relation to where you are. You know what I'm saying? It's important, man. It's very important. You might be swimming in a pool full of sharks and not know you the bait. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all seen the picture of in the roller skating ring with the black girl laying on the floor and all the white girls got their foot on her and she's just smiling like this?
Yeah.
Happy that they got their foot on her?
I seen that picture.
Yeah. That system, once you come up like that, so it's back to Kanye.
Just
It's
want
like,
to be accepted.
yeah. And it's not his first time at Kanye, because didn't when he after he came out the hospital, he was with Trump and he had the blonde hair taking pictures with him.
Oh yeah.
And then again, it goes back to just to the images and what Trump's doing. Every black person that came to see him, he made sure he took pictures with them and showed that. We didn't see all the pictures of all the white people that he met.
Sure did.
So it's like they rocking with me.
Photo albums. Images. Like we were talking about. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be careful when you lend your support to. Like Chance the Rapper trying to come to Kanye rescue. Next thing you know, Trump shouting him out. You know what I'm saying? Then he like, oh nah, chill, y'all. I was just trying to love my brother. You know what I mean? This, that, and the third. Yo, be careful, man. You know what I'm saying? Be careful. You know? That's the kind of world we living in these days.
And as far as the system, if y'all had to say steps to dismantling it, or baby steps to dismantling it, start initiating something, what direction you think would be the best direction to go in?